Hello friends, welcome to the Trading Temple channel. Today we're going to analyze the Avalanche coin and we'll also take a look at the Bitcoin chart. Because, as I've said before, whenever we want to analyze altcoins, we should always take a look at Bitcoin as well. This is one of the best charts you can currently find among altcoins. The Avalanche coin has a very beautiful chart and a very good structure. 2 or 3 weeks ago, when the price was in this area, it was stuck in a very heavy range. Avalanche was in this range for almost 6 months, and finally, after 6 months, it managed to break out of the range and move up. As we had discussed, it had formed a triple bottom here, and we had predicted that the price could go up and fill these gaps, and that's exactly what happened. Our first target was in this area, and we said that if it reaches this point, things might get a bit complicated, and the price might pull back and retest this range. And that's exactly what happened with the pullback we saw in Bitcoin. This almost caused the price of Avalanche to drop as well, reaching close to $26. As you can see, the price is now close to $29. The entire crypto market is almost in the red today, and Avalanche has just done a good backtest. And if we look at the volume, we can see that the volume has really gone up. It hasn't been this high in recent times. As you can see, almost every time Avalanche's volume has gone up, its price has also increased. And yesterday, 4 days ago, you can see that with this candlestick formed here, there was a lot of green volume, and this could indicate that this is the bottom. And what's interesting is that we had predicted that this gap here could be filled very strongly, and that's exactly what happened. In the pullback and the backtest it did on this range, so far it has performed well. It gave us the volume, tested the trend line, and also tested the support level. Additionally, we have a 50-day moving average here, which it touched beautifully, and there's a good chance the price will move higher and test the $50 to $60 range. But everything depends on Bitcoin and what Bitcoin does. The next target we could identify, why did we choose the $50 to $60 range? Because when we were in this range, I had said that we could draw a line from the top of the range to the bottom and then take this line, and when the price breaks out, we can nicely move it up. In the midterm, our target is still $50 to $60. Bitcoin's situation still hasn't become very critical. For now, everything is okay with Avalanche, and it has a very beautiful chart that has nicely tested the support level. If we look at the weekly time frame, we can clearly see in the RSI that it has broken this very long-term trend line to the upside, and its condition is very good and it can go even higher. And on the weekly moving average, we can clearly see that it has just tested the 50-week moving average and is now having a bit of a battle with the 100-week and 200-week moving averages to try to break through and move higher. This resistance is a very strong one, which is between $35 and $36. If it manages to break through, the next price target could be between $50 and $60. That was the analysis of this coin. Let's move on to Bitcoin and see what Bitcoin is doing. A few days ago, we talked about Bitcoin and mentioned that Bitcoin lost this short-term support and the price dropped to one of the strongest supports Bitcoin has ever had. This support is a very strong support. It touched it once and had a good bounce, and now this is the second time it's touching it. So far, Bitcoin hasn't had good volume to show, as you can see, because on Saturdays and Sundays, Bitcoin's volume is very low and it hasn't had good volume to indicate that this is the bottom here. I also think that Bitcoin could enter this liquidity zone and take the liquidity that's been built below these two lows here and then move up. Because usually institutions wait and have to take this liquidity before the price goes up. Those who enter their trades too early usually get caught in these areas. And what's quite interesting here is that if Bitcoin can indeed go up, move steadily toward this significant trend line, effectively fill these existing gaps, decisively break this crucial trend line, and head firmly in this upward direction, we can be almost 60% bullish. As long as Bitcoin can't break through this resistance in the box I've drawn here, we're not 100% bullish on Bitcoin. Bitcoin needs to reach up and break through this resistance. If it breaks through, then you can be 100% bullish, and if it manages to break both this resistance and this trend line, we're 60% bullish. We need to see what happens in the next few days. Also, if you look here, you'll see that the 50-day and 100-day moving averages are located in this area, which makes things very difficult for Bitcoin. It's even possible that the price goes up to here, but it's very likely that there will be a pullback at this point, so we'll have to see what happens. If it hits this level and then drops down to grab liquidity, we become very bullish when the price comes back up and re-enters the range again. That means in this area, we can take long positions when the price comes back and re-enters the range. This area is full of liquidity. Those who opened buy positions here and here might get liquidated. We have to see what happens in the coming weeks. The probability is high because this has always happened with Bitcoin. I've shown before that, look here, it took the liquidity and then went up. Here it took the liquidity and then went up. Also here, here, and here. You can clearly see that throughout the entire Bitcoin bull run in the past 2 years, almost every time it wanted to form a bottom, usually it goes down, grabs the liquidity, then comes back, enters a range, and the price goes up. If Bitcoin does this, we become bullish. But if it can't get back above the range, that is, if the price drops and can't come back up to retest this resistance and then falls again, in my opinion, Bitcoin is done for and will very likely enter a bear market. Because right here in this area, we also have the 200-day moving average, which can indicate that this is a very strong support. And we also have this long-term trend line that the price could hit and bounce up from. Let's move on to the Bitcoin, Ethereum, and stablecoin dominance charts. We had talked about this chart before, that whenever this chart goes down, it's in favor of altcoins and the alt season begins. Like in this part and the previous sections. Here we talked about this head and shoulders pattern and said that it's a very good head and shoulders, which could indicate that the alt season might start. But as you can see, this head and shoulders hasn't been confirmed yet because it still hasn't broken through the last part. At the same time, we have this trend line here that it's touched. For now, we have to hope that this trend line can reject the price and push it back down. If it turns back down, it's very likely to be bullish for altcoins, and altcoins could go up a lot. This is a very important chart, and we expect it to get rejected here. If it breaks above, things will get very difficult for altcoins. That was today's video about Avalanche and Bitcoin. I'd appreciate it if you like and subscribe. And don't forget, trading is never a sure thing and everything is based on probability. And I'm not a financial advisor, and this is not financial advice. Until the next video, goodbye.